message. So follow along, I'm reading, and all they'll be doing is acting, so you get a chance to see. Long ago, or maybe not so long ago, there was a tribe in a dark, cold cavern. The cave dwellers would huddle together and cry against the chill. Loud and long they'd wail. It was all they did. It was all they knew to do. The sounds in the cave were mournful, but the people didn't know it, for they had never known joy. The spirit in the cave was death, but the people didn't know it, for they never knew life. But then one day, they heard a different voice. I have heard your cries, it announced. I have felt your chill and see your darkness. I have come to help. The cave people grew quiet. They had never heard this voice. Hope sounded strange to their ears. How can we know you've come to help? Trust me, he answered. I have what you need. The cave people peered through the darkness at the figure of the stranger. He was stacking something. He stooped down and stacked more. What are you doing? One cried, nervous. The stranger didn't answer. What are you making? One shouted even louder. What do you think you're doing? Still no response. Tell us, demanded a third. What are you doing? The visitor stood up and spoke in the direction of the voice. I have what you need. With that, he turned back to the pile at his feet, and he lit it. Wood ignited, flames erupted, and light filled the cavern. The cave people turned away in fear. Stop it! Put it out, they cried. It hurts to see it. Light always hurts before it helps, he answered. Step closer. The pain will soon pass. Not I, declared a voice. Nor I, agreed a second. Only a fool would risk exposing his eyes to such light. Put it out. The stranger stood next to the fire. Would you prefer the darkness? Would you prefer the cold? Don't consult your fears. Take a step of faith. For a long time, no one spoke. The people hovered in groups covering their eyes. The fire builder stood next to the fire. It's warm here, he invited. He's right, one from behind announced. It is warmer. The stranger turned and saw a figure slowly stepping toward the fire. I can open my eyes now, she proclaimed. I can see. Step closer, invited the fire builder. She did. She stepped into the ring of light. It's so warm, she extended her hands and sighed as her chill began to pass. Come, everyone, feel the warmth, she invited. Silence, woman, cried one of the cave dwellers. Dare you lead us into folly? Leave us! Leave us and take your light with you. She turned to the stranger. Why won't they come? They choose the chill, for though it's cold, it's what they know. They'd rather be cold than change. And live in the dark? And live in the dark. The now warm woman stood silent, looking first at the dark, then at the man. Will you leave the fire, he asked. She paused, and then answered, I cannot bear the cold. Then she spoke again, but nor can I bear the thought of my people in darkness. You don't have to, he responded, reaching into the fire and removing a stick. Carry this to your people. Tell them the light is here, and the light is warm. Tell them the light is for all who desire it. And so she took the small flame and stepped into the shadow. 5th grade, thank you very much. You did a great job. Let's give them a round of applause. Pastor, if you wouldn't mind turning on the lights now, or Mr. Hoffensberg, or Mr. Howdy. Light is such an important thing. And that's what we just saw. Without Jesus, there is no light. There is only cold and dark. We are so blessed to have Jesus in our life. If you look up above the altar, what do you see? You see Jesus, and his hands are reaching out. Look up there. His hands are reaching out to all of you. And the reason he's doing that is because he's telling you, come to me. I have the light. I have the warmth. In this terrible, sinful world that we're living in, Jesus is the answer. Jesus is the answer for us to take away the darkness, take away the cold. And yet sometimes, just like the cave people, we want to stay in the dark. Think about that. We know right from wrong, but so often we want to keep doing what is wrong. Paul talks about that in Romans. He says, sometimes the good that I want to do, that I don't do. And the bad things I don't want to do, that's the things I do. Thanks be to God, we have a Savior. We have a Jesus who has lit up the world for us. And that's what's so special about Christmas. Have you noticed, has anybody noticed in their neighborhoods, have some of the houses changed in your neighborhoods, or maybe yours? What has happened? People have put what on their houses? Yes, sir. Lights. Lights. And those symbolize for us that Jesus is the light of the world. He has come to share his light and his warmth with us. But the story doesn't stop there. The story doesn't stop there. Did you notice at the end, what did the girl do? She said, I can't go back into the cold, but I can't stand my friends and my people being cold either. And what did the man say? Take the light to them. And that's what we're commanded to do. Take the light to other people. When you're out on the playground and you're playing and you're fighting, that's showing the wrong thing. But if someone falls and you help them up, that shows the right thing. When you go and do something nice for a neighbor, that shows a nice thing. When you help out somebody, that shows a nice thing. When you invite them to church, that shows them something wonderful. Be a light